In the modern creator economy, charity is highly profitable content. When influencers turn vulnerable people into viral spectacles, the digital metrics soar, but the physical subjects are crushed beneath the weight of the exposure. The Whittaker family spent decades living a quiet, isolated life in the rural town of Odd, West Virginia. Several family members experienced severe cognitive and physical disabilities, relying entirely on one another in this two-story wooden home. In 2020, a documentary filmmaker visited Odd and uploaded a video characterizing the Whittakers as America's most inbred family. The internet's reaction was immediate. Millions of views translated into millions of sympathetic clicks. A GoFundMe campaign quickly raised nearly $100,000, intended for the family's living expenses and home repairs. Within months, the original filmmaker reported the funds were disappearing. Verbal brother, Larry, to solicit money for a funeral. Frustrated by the deception, the filmmaker halted the fundraising and stepped back. But the global spotlight remained firmly fixed on Odd, West Virginia. The algorithms had already proved the family was highly monetizable. They were a viral asset, generating massive engagement with almost no structural protections in place. Converting a family's poverty into entertainment rarely solves their problems. Instead, it creates a highly lucrative power vacuum, practically inviting a new wave of opportunists to step in. That vacuum was quickly filled by Patrick Roark, a local neighbor, and Eric Carroll, an out-of-state podcaster. They presented themselves as the ethical alternative, promising total financial transparency to the audience. However, public records tell a different story about Patrick Roark. Looking at his criminal history, we see a recent guilty plea for stalking, as well as the non-consensual disclosure of private intimate images. Despite those records, Roark and Carroll began heavily filming the family. They shifted the camera's focus squarely onto Timmy, a cognitively disabled family member, turning him into the channel's main attraction. While claiming they lacked the funds to buy a basic air conditioning unit for the family's sweltering house, Roark allegedly spent over $500 of the collected money on matching boot barn outfits for himself and Timmy. The behind-the-scenes reality worsened. Roark was accused of stealing tools, keeping donated food for himself, and reportedly encouraging female viewers to throw their bras at Timmy during online interactions. By branding themselves as protectors, creators can effectively neutralize audience skepticism. The viewers get a comforting narrative, completely unaware of the emotional and financial toll being extracted off camera. In September, the partnership abruptly shattered. Eric Carroll broadcasted a live video explicitly to sever his professional ties with Roark. During the stream, Carroll aired all the grievances. He detailed Roark's criminal past to their audience and laid out exactly how the funds intended to build the Whittakers a new home were being manipulated. What Carroll framed as a push for accountability immediately descended into a messy, public feud between the two men. The primary goal of securing a safe home for the Whittakers vanished. Instead, the creators spent their energy battling over who would retain the loyal, paying audience they had cultivated. When internet personalities fight over audience control, the people who actually generated the views are discarded. They become collateral damage in a battle for digital influence. The online drama soon attracted local authorities. The West Virginia State Police stepped in, launching a formal fraud investigation into the men collecting the donations. This Raleigh County court document details the outcome. Patrick Roark faces 5 counts of financial exploitation of an incapacitated adult. Scanning down, charges multiply. The state levied 11 total felony counts against him, adding fraudulent schemes and fraudulent use of an access device. While the legal system processed the fraud, state social workers arrived at the Whittaker property. Adult Protective Services assessed the home's deteriorating condition and investigated allegations of ongoing neglect and abuse. Deeming the environment unsafe, authorities physically removed Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy. The siblings were separated from their extended family and taken away from the only environment they had ever known. A multi-year, highly publicized campaign explicitly designed to purchase a better home for the Whittakers ended with the state dismantling the family entirely. Yet the machinery of the creator economy rarely pauses for an arrest. Despite the felony charges and the fractured family, Patrick Roark simply adjusted his content strategy. He continued to upload videos to TikTok, filming himself sweeping the Whittakers' now empty porch. It was a performative display of charity aimed squarely at retaining his remaining audience. He even leveraged his residual exposure to launch a new personal brand. Tagging his posts with bluegrass hashtags, he attempted to reposition himself as a rural music influencer, completely sidestepping the active fraud investigation. This is the cold arithmetic of the system. The platform algorithms secured watch time, the creators extracted clout and cash, and the subjects lost their agency, their privacy, and their home. When there is no oversight, performative charity functions exactly as intended. It enriches the broadcaster at the expense of the subject. And until audiences stop rewarding the spectacle of poverty, the next vulnerable family is already waiting in the feed.